Hey everybody, I'm Monty Mont, and I want to welcome you. Thank you for investing in another episode of the Shareholders podcast. Guys, it's been a blessing coming before you. I enjoy these shows so much, and I enjoy hitting on topical things. I got one of my guests back right now. We're hoping the other one will join us soon. But he was on with us on the mental health show. He's back again, Mr. Jessica Bill. How you doing, sir?
Doing blessed. Thanks for having me back. Definitely appreciate it.
Yes, man. Thank you so much. And so, see, guys, with me, I'm constantly looking for content. And I heard him and Brother Todd, they were talking about a topic very, very much in the news right now. I told them, they tried to get me in the comment. I said, no. I said, save it. We're going to bring it. Let's put it on wax. And so we did that. And what they were talking about is something that's pressing everybody right now. Now, we know pandemic, not one person in this world was not affected by that. And we saw a lot of economies, global economies in countries and cities, states, whatever, kind of grind to a halt just for what we had to do to be safe and things like that. And now we're kind of getting things back in a lot of places. I read somewhere where Vegas had their largest gambling month, I guess, of the year or something, or in history, which, again, if you're not listening to this in Las Vegas, I know you might not know a whole lot about it. I don't gamble, my people don't gamble, but it's big in this state. And so they had a big resurgence on that. But what we're still seeing is that a lot of people who were either had to be laid off or fired or just because the economy lost their jobs are kind of slow to get back into the workforce. And now there's a gap that is being created, and there's kind of a crisis coming from that gap. So I first want to ask you, Cabell, when you first saw the economy kind of slow down and then start picking back up, did you think we would have this problem? Because it didn't even occur to me that people weren't going to want to come back to work. Did you even think that we'd be here right now?
No, actually, I didn't even, the unemployment, like the unemployment rate never really kind of crossed my mind. You're focusing on people coming back to the workforce, people having enough money to feed their family. So that unemployment rate, what we were talking about at church, really, it didn't hit me until we were talking about it on that Sunday.
Yeah. So what's happening, guys? I was reading a couple articles as well, because now we have employers wanting people to come back, but people have been getting government assistance, and some people have been making more on the government assistance than they were making on their job, which,
correct.
So they're like, well, what do I need to come back for if I'm gonna make more sitting here than being in work and let's keep it real, being underpaid, that's obviously it is. So if you go anywhere now, you'll see, I don't care if it's Walgreens, if it's McDonald's, everybody's like, we're hiring. We're hiring. You know what I mean? You see it everywhere. It's almost a hiring pandemic now that we're in, which I did not see coming. So they say right now there are 5.7 million fewer jobs than before the pandemic hit. But at the same time, there are 10 million job openings.
Correct.
So, you know what I mean? So think of that ratio there. That's kind of crazy. We got less jobs, but more available jobs. Less people working, but more available jobs.
Correct.
So give you a spin on what you think with that.
So that's what we're talking about Sunday. And so my first thought was, well, it's just people, they don't want to go back to work just because they're making, they're getting more money from the unemployment. So that was just my first instinct. And then I kind of checked myself last night, and I felt I need to apologize because that's not the whole thing. That's just part of it. You do have people that's making more money, so they're saying, okay, so I'm not gonna look for a job. This is fine. But then when it stopped on Labor Day, the assistants, so then they're got to be like, okay, now what am I going to do? So I had to sit back and say, okay, think about that situation. And so what I did was I put myself in the same situation. I was like, if I was making what they were giving, and if I can go back to work and make less, would I go back to work? And so I had to say, probably not, because I got to feed my family. So that's just part of it. And the other part that is the big one is childcare. So now you have people that's been out of work for about a year. And so, they've been taking care of their kids. Now, the unemployment is running out. And so you got to go back and get a job. But then you're paying $400 a month or a week for childcare. So it's a very sticky, tough situation. And so that's why I had to check myself, just because I had to look at other people's situation. You never know what other people are going through. So I just kind of, I didn't have anybody to apologize to, but I just had to check myself.
No, so. And that's true. Okay, so real quickly, let me hit on that because you mentioned it. So as of Monday, a lot of people, the unemployment benefits ran out.
Correct.
Right? So Monday, Labor Day was kind of the cutoff for that. So now we're taping that on the Tuesday after, right after. So the next day, a lot of people are kind of now in a different spot now because they don't have those benefits and things like that. Now there's some things that they're trying to do. Like the Biden administration has pushed the restart for the federal loan payments till January. That was supposed to restart this month. Some measures are being, they've increased in the food stamps assistance, but at the end of the day, the benefits and a lot of things that people were living on are running out. So, and for whatever reason. And right. I think, honestly, what this made people realize, they were so used to, it's like this. I've heard that many businesses that operated in an office, when the pandemic hit, they found out that their people could operate from home just as effectively. So if you're a business owner, why would you be renting office space? If the people can work from home and you won't have to pay no building fee and all of that stuff and insurance. I think that's kind of the same thing that was happening to some people. Like, I'm doing good on this. Why am I going to go,
You know what else with that is we actually had someone from our church that's kind of in the supervisory role. And so during the pandemic, they laid off a number of workers. Now, what he's telling me, he's finding that he has to do all that work that they were doing, but he's doing such a good job at it that they're not going to bring those back. So now you got him doing the work for 5 or 6, and the company's like, okay, we're not giving you a raise or anything. You're just going to be the supervisor. And then you're not getting these people back. So what are the people that was working there? What are they going to do? The unemployment is not enough. It's not what they were making before. So it's like catch-22, a big dilemma of what's going on right now.
I totally agree. I think everything is trying to recalibrate because
that's a good point. Yes.
I think, like you say, some corporations are like, did we need all these people? And then sometimes the people are like, did I need to be doing all that I was doing? And before the pandemic, we were just kind of just doing what we've been doing, but it's a real wake-up call for the economy. And then in some places it's booming, in other places, like globally, what I think people do not understand this, and I've understood this for a while. Like there's a truck driver shortage. Now, I know a lot of people just be like, yeah, drive truck, whatever. But you understand truck drivers are very important. Because
my stepdad did.
Yeah, everything we need and get usually comes on a truck. It'll come by boat, and then the boats take it from the truck if it's overseas or whatever. Gas, food, construction stuff, all of that. And so they're really stretched for truck drivers. And there's been places I've seen, even like bars aren't getting their beers and stuff because of the truck driver. I've been to a couple convenience marts or gas station places, and they got a sign up that says you might not see your favorite drink or juice there with us because of the truck driver shortage.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And they're trying to bring these people back, and they're trying to raise the rate of pay and all that. But I really think we're in an interesting spot right now. And then you hit on a good point of childcare. Let me ask you this. do you feel that now that schools are getting back in session and kids are actually going, a lot of them, not everybody, but a lot of kids are going to on-campus schools again, will that help with the child care situation?
That helps with the child care, but then you got to think about how much are we paying for gas? So we're paying almost $4 for gas. The school where I work at, we don't provide transportation. So if you're dropping your kids off to school, if they attend a different school, so you're paying extra, you could be paying an extra $20 a day, or extra $100. So that's a big part of it too, is the gas situation. So a lot of the parents, what they're doing is they're looking for these virtual schools. I can't afford to be picking up my kid every day. If I don't have a job, I don't have the gas money. I can't afford the insurance, so I'm looking for a virtual school. So that childcare, to me, just what I've been reading, that's like the number one thing. And then another one, when you were hitting on the truck drivers, I think a big issue now, while a lot of people, we still have the unemployed, is the skill set. I can't go out and get that truck driving job just because I don't have that skill set. And for me to get that, I'm gonna be in school, truck driving school, probably for another year or so. So can I do that and my family still be able to make it while I'm going back to school, getting that skill set? So a lot of that, again, that's still another big dilemma. You have all these places, but are you going to hire somebody who does not have that skill set to go and work for you? Or are you going to actually train them? Are you going to spend the money to train them? So that's another big one.
Yeah. That is a great point because, even me, I wasn't even thinking about that. I'm like, man, cats need to get some of these truck driving jobs, but you just can't walk off the street and get a truck driving job. You got to really go through it. And they were even saying that they have to keep a database of the truck drivers they have, and they got to keep those guys up to snuff. And if you're new, it ain't like where you just get a job at a retail spot. You got to really train. So like you say, to fill in that gap of time even, what are these companies going to do? It's a real situation. And like you said, even the gas is astronomical right now. And it's a big difference from paying, $280 to $405,
You're right, big difference. And then here, the one thing about, here in Vegas, we get a lot from, a lot of people from California. Some of them might not have their green card or they're working on it. And so, it's tough for them to get a job. And that's all a part of the numbers. I was teaching classes at CSN, and I had 12 students. All of them were from a different country. But one guy, he was from Pakistan. And so his son was an engineer, physicist, and all that, had all the degrees. You know what he's doing? He's subbing right now because he couldn't get a job. Because they couldn't look at all this experience that he had in Pakistan, they wouldn't hire him. And so you look at all this is all a part of when they say the unemployment rate, they don't look into why certain people are unemployed. You're not giving them the skill set or you're not hiring them for certain positions. So like I said, it's a major dilemma.
Yeah, it's that old catch-22 where.
Yep, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Remember how the job is like, well, we hire you, but you need experience. And the person says, well, I can't get experience until somebody hire me. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
Yeah, it's a lot of different factors. I don't believe it's just one, but we got to come to some kind of, thing, because now what I'm seeing is I went once to get a pizza and they only had so many workers there. So the lady she was literally waiting tables and working the register and working the to-go, had like 2 cooks back there. So we were waiting a while, but, and I wasn't upset. I understood, but, that slows everything up. You know what I mean? So that business can only take so many customers now because they don't have enough workers.
Correct.
It's a trickle down, really, is what we're talking about. So, I wonder then, and like you say, if there's going to be more virtual options for people where can my kid learn and can I work from home so we can still, maybe we can't be going out so much as we used to. And is that good though? Is it good for us to stay at the house so much? Because the kids were cool, last year, a lot of kids in school didn't get to go to school. Is that a good thing? ultimately?
No, as far as kids, I would say no, just because they miss the social skills. When we got back, I've been back in school for over a month now. The kids are super engaged. They're super excited to be back. I was outside. That's my disclaimer. If I say something crazy, I was outside today. It's 113 and I teach PE outside. So, but the kids, they're thankful for being back. Now you have some, special needs or certain situations where, and then the COVID, parents don't want to bring them to school, but I just believe kids should be at school and friends, social skills, and all that. But the ones that are back at our school, they're loving being back.
Yeah.
And they're more engaged than they were before. And we haven't had any issues. So I'm thankful for being back, and I know the kids are as well.
Yeah, I think kids need that. They definitely
Yes.
need that direction. Maybe adults. I think adults at some point do need it as well, but kids on a much more concentrated level.
Mhm.
So let me ask you then, if you were an employer, what would you think would be a strategy to entice a worker back? Because now, they were talking about some of these pay rates for these jobs are really getting better, because they're trying to get people back. The construction places are paying well. Even Walmart, I heard, is paying some good money or something,
They're paying 15 to 18. I'm just
Right.
telling my son to apply.
Listen, back where I'm from, one of my first jobs, I worked at Meyer, making $5.25 an hour, and thought I was doing something. Boy, I was 17, 16, but now they paying 15, 18. And I wonder, is there something else that you think these employers can do to try to get people back to the workforce and build it back up again?
I think the big one is you have to do something with childcare. I mean, if parents don't have anyone to take care of their kids, they can't just leave the house. So I remember that Tyler Perry movie. Remember what was it, Good Deeds or something like that. Remember the lady, she was in maintenance, and she had her daughter sleeping in the closet because she didn't have anybody to watch her. But what he did is he created daycare at the facility where they worked. And so I kind of wish more business would do that, because I think that would help. I still think childcare is the biggest issue that we have in America. It's just the price of it. You're paying $400 to $500 if you take them to a daycare. Because I know when we moved out here, we've never had our kids in daycare. But one is just because of the price. So that would be the first thing. And then what people don't realize is that these college students, a lot of them will be away at college, but because of everything being online, like my son, all his classes are online. So they're applying for some of these jobs as well. Yeah. And so, someone that's older, one of the positions that they may have gotten is college student. And so then you pay a college student, the 15 where you wanted the 18. So to me, I think childcare is the biggest, because, benefits, everyone always needs benefits. But if you can help families with childcare, I think that's the main thing.
Yeah, it's funny because even my gym, they opened back up. Mm-hmm. They have like a child area.
Okay.
Put your kids while you go at the gym. And I remember thinking, I was like, I don't think they're gonna open that back up. They probably never open it up. And they opened it back up, and man, their kids full of kids in there because they realize it does help their business to offer, when mom is getting off of work, she wants to work out. Well, she can't if she's got the kids, but for an hour you can put your kids. I couldn't believe how many kids were in that play area again, and it makes sense because people got to have something to do with their children. If you want them to engage in what you're offering. And that's a very good point. That's not something I thought about, but I think, that would be a way. If you could offer some kind of childcare, you could really get these people back in the
or way. Even, if you don't have the facility, a stipend or anything that would help, just being a parent. If they offer me any type of stipend to, cover the fees if I needed daycare, I think that will be a big help. And I think you'll have happier workers. When we're on the job and we're thinking about our kids, or we get a phone call, then we don't know if we're going to get another one. We've got to go pick them up. But if they're at that facility, that's a big help. Yeah, that's a good perspective to come from. And hopefully
you know, that's something that maybe they'll develop, because right now I know they're trying to get people back, but I think they're trying to just see if we can give them a little bit more money. But is there something else we have to do? And that's probably going to be something, if they're not thinking about it now, they will be, because there's a lot of positions that still need to be filled, and there's kind of just this. Like I said, I wonder now, since after Labor Day and the cutoff, I wonder if we'll see a bump to go back.
I think we will.
I think so I think they're going to gauge it.
Right. It's just you have to go back. You know, you pay your rent or pay for food. If you're used to that, the amount you're getting and you're not getting it, you got to go out and find something. So I think it would increase in a couple of months. I think the unemployment rate will drop. We'll have less unemployed just because of the need. And so I'm hoping that companies will pay them, you know, continue to pay them the increased wages, even when they do come back, because all that is just helping our economy as a whole.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, these businesses are going to see now, we get a wave back and then try to get there. So hopefully, you know, we can get back on track. But at the same time, before we go, I do just want to say that I hope this is a wake-up call, because a lot of people have been underpaid for a long time. Working hard. And I hope these jobs and these corporations understand the value of the worker still. You know, can't everything be automated? You know, can't everything, they've been trying, but some stuff still you need hands and mind to work it. So we will see. We'll probably have to do a follow show on this maybe in a month or two and see where we're at for sure on that. But
no problem. I appreciate you getting me here.
No, hey, thank you for your time. Guys, you know where to check us out, of course. Mighty Sharp Network. This is the Shareholders Podcast. We got more great shows coming for you. Money Club's coming back pretty soon as well. We're doing a lot, man. We're doing a lot, but I love to talk about these pressing topics right when they're happening, because, you know, you need to know, and we need to let other people know as well. So thank you again, my friend. Y'all know what to do, man. Be blessed and stay sharp, all right?